Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleaver here with a knife video for you. Today we're taking a look at an interesting little steel will. This will be a first impressions video. First, let me say this was sent to me by Steel Will for review. And second, let me say I have been super interested to get a look at this knife. I think all the way back to 2015, 2016 is when they introduced this lock. This is called the Ant lock, and it's a proprietary lock for Steel Will. So we'll take a look at that in a second. Before we do, just to give you a quick look at the box, and if you flip this over, you can see this is the F12M Tasso. The M means this is the smaller version. M390 steel, black G10, and blue G10 on the backspacer. So you can see that right there. Nice pop of blue color there. Okay, so let me open this guy up for you. And what I will do, I'm not going to go into, I mean, this is just a first impressions, guys, so I'm not going to get into taking that apart and giving you a detailed explanation for exactly how the lock works. I will, though, put a link down to Steel Will's website so you can check out on there. They have a little animation that kind of demonstrates how the lock works, and it's sort of a variation on a back lock type of system. So I'll let you go ahead and check that out for yourself. When we get to the full review, I'll have more to say about that, and we can have a bit of a deeper discussion about, you know, the engineering and strength and all that kind of good stuff. All right, for now, let me say that I've been playing with this for a couple days now, and it seems to work pretty well. All right, let's see if it's, yeah, you can unlock it and flip the knife closed. I don't know if it works the other way. Guess it kind of does, but not really. So quick rundown here before I totally get zeroed in on the lock. Let me tell you a little bit about the knife itself. I like the design quite a bit. We've got an M390 blade here with a really cool overall design. So a clip point with a nice little swedge on top, really nicely crowned spine, fairly thin behind the edge. Now, someone who has the large, I wish you would weigh in and tell me here, does the large have this same edge geometry? Because the edge geometry on this is really nice. And so I'm really hoping that the large has the same sort of overall grind as the small. Quickly moving on from the blade there, very nice satin finish, by the way. Thumb stud deployment, bit of a thumb ramp here. We've got washers on the pivot, and once again, Steel Will has done a good job. I've had a number of Steel Wills where I've commented on how nicely they've pulled off the washers, and this is another example of a knife that's solid as can be. Like, there is not the slightest bit of blade play, and yet it is very smooth. And you can see that those washers, are very nicely done. By the way, the price point on this is a little more expensive. I think these go for like 120 to 150, something like that. And then I think the large size might be a little bit more when you find it at retailers. So you'll have to forgive me about not knowing the price exactly. Again, I'll know the price when I have a full discussion of value in the full review of this. But it is a little more expensive, and so you kind of have some higher expectations of how this is going to handle, and it definitely lives up to its price point in terms of how that action feels. Let's touch on the size and weight really quickly. We've got 7 1/4 inches overall, 3 1/16 on the blade length, 4 3/16 on the handle, and this guy weighs in at 3.1 ounces. So this is definitely a smaller knife than I normally like to carry. Now I have to say this, guys, despite being a smaller knife than I normally want, and it is a little small. My hand feels a bit cramped on it, which is normally the thing that puts me off of the smaller knives. It is better than most of the small knives that I've handled. I would, much better say than a mini Griptilian or some of the smaller Spydercos. This feels really nice in hand. Part of it, I think, is because of the 3D contouring there. Part of it is because of that ability to choke up and that beautifully crowned spine, which gives me a nice spot to put my thumb. So I've used the knife quite a bit in this configuration and enjoy it that way. What I'm driving at here is to say that, this is the small, and if I like the small as much as I do, which is a lot, I think this is a great knife. I can only imagine what I'm going to think of the large. And having handled this one, I will absolutely 100% be getting my hands on the normal full-size Tasso. I know there will be many of you watching, though, who do like a 3-inch blade. And if you like a 3-inch blade, but don't want to have to sacrifice in terms of comfort or handle real estate, this is one of the nicer, more comfortable, roomy 3-inch blades that I have handled. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through the overall features of the knife, by the way, quick note on construction, no steel in here, it's just the G10, and that is beautifully done G10 and a really nice backspacer. I've got a comment on the construction here. These are made in Italy and very, very well made, I might add. I am very, very impressed by the way this knife is put together overall. In terms of what I think of this knife, yeah, I think great folder right here. If the large is even about as good as this, then it's going to be a huge win. The ant lock is very, very functional. It's easy, it's quick, it's enjoyable, it's fidget friendly, all the things that we look for in a knife lock mechanism. And so I suspect this guy to be quite a hit for Steel Will. And if you like smaller knives, I guess if you like larger knives, pick up the larger one. But if you like smaller knives, and I know a number of my viewers do, I think this is definitely one to take a look at. I believe this rivals the Mini Griptilian in every way. Totally awesome knife. So there you go. That's my first impression. I am really blown away by this. And it's the small. All right. Honestly, when I opened up the box, I thought, great. They sent me a small. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They were sending it for review anyway. But, it's kind of, in my mind, I thought, this is going to be one of those knives that I basically review and then move on with life because I'm not going to like it. Well, I like it an awful lot. Not enough to say I'm going to just forego the large and just go with this, but I like it enough to say I really have to get my hands on a large. So there you go, guys. That's my initial impressions of the Steel Will Tasso and the Steel Will Antlock. I will say much more, and I'll get into some deeper descriptions of how the lock functions and all of that in the full review. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss that. Thanks a lot for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, especially if you've got a large. I really would seriously like to know if the blade geometry is the same. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.